Welcome to the Falls Count Everywhere podcast.
Hey, we don't get no crowd this week. We didn't sell any tickets. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the Falls Count Everywhere podcast. It is your Thursday night ritual here with you live here in our first show of December. I am Rough Cut Rick Ruby. And to the right of your screen, that is the Gem City Mouth Zmiz. Z, what's going on, bud?
Not much, my dude. Not much.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, we've got a loaded podcast here that's going to be hopefully we're going to be going over some things here in a short bit, but I'm just trying to get everything lined up here. I've actually had quite a busy week myself. In fact, I'm so busy I forgot to add one of my lights to my background here, so hopefully I can get more pastier than Seamus, so hopefully that works.
Ooh. Mayonnaise. That's a big jar.
Hey, people that know you, they probably call you Seamus Jr., right?
I'll take it.
Oh, no. Well, he's like, yeah, but I got a complexion, so, you know, there's the difference.
I'm like, there's a little color on my screen. You look like a glowing freaking glow pet there.
Oh, I know. But I was trying to make myself, make sure that I'm not totally dark back here, because my lights above me are actually are kind of like a shade of a light blue with the brightness turned up. But if I do everything white, it's just like everything whitens it. But then if I do just those lights, and then it's dark toward my camera. So I have to kind of play around with the background a little bit here. So, that's so I guess that's the fix here. Jessica watching us here tonight.
Yep, just waving.
And of course, for a third week in a row now, and we're simulcasting with our own page here at Falls Count Everywhere, and of course with We Talk Wrestling.
Right.
We're going to be getting into hopefully some headlines here that's been put out here recently regarding that. An interesting story, some kind of interesting stories, some that are good and some that are, well, I don't know if it's all good. I mean, there are quite a few that are kind of on the downer. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it depends on how you're looking at it.
Yeah.
On some of them, I'm specifically thinking of one that people are really throwing shade at, but we'll get into that a little bit more. What's up, Doug?
Yeah. There you go. Mr. O'Shea's in here tonight, kind of checking out the podcast here, and I'm actually trying to get all my applications. See, and another thing on top of this, things were kind of freezing up on me, so I had to reboot, and this all happened 20 minutes before we were supposed to go live.
I was gonna say, I'm like, dude, it's not like me to be early and Ruby to be late. What's going on here? Like,
I know. Well, if you knew what it was, I mean, this whole week has been hectic. Even starting at Tuesday, my wife getting sick, and to the point where there were several symptoms happening that were too quick, and I would not, definitely nothing that a home remedy would have helped. So I had to get her to the hospital, and then so she just came back today,
and I'll be the first to say speedy recovery to her. Let's pray for that.
At least she's resting in her own bed. They got her. She has it's this time every year for the past 3 years where she has some type of a septic infection, and so it's kind of bad. I was hoping that she was going to be with me last night, but things didn't pan out. She wasn't that well just yet, and she wasn't stabilized with making sure she was well. But we'll get into last night here.
Maybe you wouldn't have lost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. Hey, I don't know. I didn't lose, but we'll get into more of that. Yeah, we'll definitely get more into that here. So if I could find where my directory is. Oh my god.
All around, it looked like you had a good show. I happened to catch some footage that may or may not have leaked onto the internet.
Yeah, that may or may not leak onto the internet, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, it's I'm sure it has. Oh, you know what I did? The files I need are on a drive that I do not have plugged in, so I don't know.
Come on, guy. I just spilt my vodka and orange juice.
You having screwdrivers? You having screwdrivers?
I decided to, yes.
Oh my god.
I agree with Lily on this right here. 100%.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that just a tad bit here. Yeah. Bear with me a moment as I'm trying to get my thumb drive plugged in here. So sorry. There
It'll
you
be
go.
us. Biscuits and gravy. Must be somebody from We Talk Wrestling. Hey, if you're from We Talk Wrestling, can you do me just one little flavor? Put your name in it so we can see who it is, because we still haven't figured out how to get that that working to where we can see names from both pages. It's kind of time tested. We'll get there.
Yeah, that is a little aggravating, I will say. And
I looked into it. I actually did though this week, and it doesn't make sense.
no, it is like, make sure you go to streamer.com/Facebook and then make an approval that it's okay to show your name. Well, we're telling you it's okay to show your name. If you don't want to show your name, then don't put a damn comment. It's just like as simple as that.
Right.
You know,
if they don't want to show their name, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah, well, maybe you just might have to go over the false, go over the false count everywhere, which you should be kind of doing
that should be a thing. Remember, because we have a contest.
Yes,
good segue.
do.
Good segue.
Yeah, good segue. Let me see if I could find that here. Oh yeah. Can we do that here? Yeah, we can. Can't we? Well, if I can find the right. Here we go. We're going to be playing the Legends game again here, if I just remember. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, Legend Break.
Yeah, Legends Break. Yeah, Legends Break. Okay, Legends Break.
You know what? When we have technical difficulties, we should do that. That should be a thing. You should pop up with a sound with the little do 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 do, but then it's just random legend. I like this idea. It needs to be a thing.
Yeah. Oh, we got a new. I got no. Okay.
Andrew Hall says, "Good show. We just got started."
Oh yeah. Well, hey, we know how to do a great intro to a show. How's that?
We fumble and just roll around.
Yeah. Yeah, we most certainly do. Oh my goodness! I gotta make sure I turn my phone on silent too. That's kind of, my God.
It's not newsworthy, but did you? I mean, I guess in some sense, but did you get a chance to see John Morrison? Yeah, that's right, John Morrison's. I was thinking the musician there for a minute, which is Jim Morrison. But did you get to see John Morrison's little promo that he did? He put on Instagram or Twitter, I can't remember which one it was, about how he feels like today's world, they've lost the art of actually getting somebody over and being that guy that puts guys over and makes himself look like a goof and all that stuff. And that's what he loved about his last run with WWE.
Well, I hope he's just talking about WWE themselves, because obviously we've seen with other companies, and even on the local scene, whether you call it local scene or independent scene, whatever your preference may be, but that's not the case. I mean, WWE just does not. But we've been down this road before, because, for instance, when they call up all of Hit Row and then they release them, so it's like,
right.
But
no, if you haven't seen it, you need to go out and see it. It's on We Talk Wrestling. Very heartfelt little promo saying goodbye to that. He's like, I'm ready for the next chapter, where it takes me, where it goes, blah blah blah. Really cool stuff. It made me. I've never been really a big John Morrison fan. always respected his work and thought he was a great worker and all that stuff, and does make good guys look good. But he gave me a little bit more respect. Like, I respect him a little more for an athlete and the in-ring ability because of his last run, and that promo just a little bit more of a notch. So, like, John, you're good in my book. I hope to meet you one day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I said John Morrison. I mean, that whole gimmick that they gave him was ridiculous.
The drip stick was amazing.
I never was a fan of the drip drip. I never was a fan of the drip drip. Anybody that has drip in their name better be part of their last name or however they're. It's just, that is just. I mean, with me, just the way that I was raised in wrestling, you don't call yourself drip, and then we see that it's like you're thinking of something else, and it's not regarding the wrestling. So let's just say it should not be part of wrestling. Okay, let's just say that.
Mr. Herb, how you doing this evening, sir? Look at this Hope making fun of me because I messed up Jim and John.
You know what? Jim and John are tuning for people, yes. One's alive and one's dead. Oh, my goodness.
Too soon. That's all right.
So
back to our contest here.
I'm horrible. I know. I'm just horrible.
Thank you, Douglas O'Shea. Loves the drip drip. Like, John Morrison with the drip drip was effing hilarious. Like, I understand, I get what you're saying, but like, there was a layer there of seeing his comedic gold come out that I thoroughly enjoyed. It was kind of like when Kurt Angle and Stone Cold got to let go and let kind of like some of their more edginess away, and you got to see that character human side of them. It was pretty nice. So
yeah, well, oh, you did not just go here, Lily. Did you really? I'm going to kick your ass whenever I see you again.
Right now, anyone that goes to an SICW show, if I see one sign of rough cut drip Ruby, I'm going to lose it. I will love you guys forever. Oh, it has to be a thing.
Yeah. And if you come walk in with a sign, you are not going to get a ticket for what I'm showing right here. Because I will personally yank it out of your hand.
Dude, I'm done. Lily, that's great. That's gold. I love it.
Oh my God. I'm gonna oh my Lord. Yeah. Thank you, Parker. Yes, boo. That was
dude,
bad.
I am like turning red because that was funny. That was good. I liked it.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody's making it for Saturday.
Oh man. Hey, I mean, Lily did have one fan, but he didn't say much except for this.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
There you go, buddy.
My dude, Chris, how you doing, sir?
Yeah. Oh,
but okay, back to this. Our contest is still going on. If we reach 500 on the Facebook of Falls Count Everywhere, you are going to get entered into win this. Or if we make it to 100 subscribers, because it's not followers, subscribers, on YouTube, we will be giving away one of these books. Go ahead, Rough Cut.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll be giving, yeah. And here's the thing. It's got to be by December 9th, which is a week. So you guys got a lot of sharing. You got a lot of, you guys got a lot to do. If you want us to give away the book,
all of your wrestling family and friends, man, just pack their stuff. You guys send Candy Crush invites all the dang time. You can send an invite to this, like, dear Lord.
Candy Crush invites.
Man, you remember that game Farmville, by chance? That crazed game that everybody played, like even myself, like I got addicted to it for a while. I used to get Farmville freaking requests left and right, and you guys can't. Nobody can sit. We're giving away a book. With those games, you had to spend money. Like, we're giving you something, and all you got to do is press a like button. That's it.
That's right. I mean, you guys with the local scene, you guys should know exactly what's going on. It's real easy. We tell you where to go. We say, hey, please like this page, because this really helps us in the long run. But hey, if we don't get it by December 9th, and guess what? You're going to have to go over to East Carondelet on December 11th because your purchase of your ticket will not only get you in to see a great show, which is going to feature Team Travis Cook versus Team Flash Flanagan in a 6-man tag in the main event. This will also get you an entry into winning one of those books that evening. And also, don't forget that ticket will also get you into the free TV taping the following day on Sunday, December 12th, where the doors will open at 1 and bell times at 1 p.m. And just some great shows. If you're missing out on these TV tapings, you really are missing out because it's just really a great atmosphere. If you like studio wrestling, this is where you want to be. So, yeah, man, I'm just saying.
I got to give respect to Herb and the NWA guys for bringing back the studio world of wrestling. Like I've missed that formula.
Yeah, so but that's what I like because that's what I do on the WWE section of Peacock is I go to the NWA World Championship Wrestling shows. That's where I go. So, and that kind of gives that feel with doing that with the podium and everything. They do podium interviews. They go over upcoming shows and everything else within SICW. But of course, there's more promotions other than just SICW in the area. And of course, we're going to get to those now. So this is tomorrow night. This is Pro Wrestling Epic presents the Izzy Blackwell Memorial Show. This is tomorrow night, December 3rd, at the Franklin Lodge in Alton, Illinois. All proceeds will go to the final expenses for Izzy and also to help supporting of the family. Front row is $15. General admission is $12. So those are just the standard ticket prices that includes for adults and kids. Bell time is at 7 o'clock. Doors will open at 6:30. Feature matches will see Douglas O'Shea taking on coming out of retirement, Dirty Dick Brody. Leon Mephisto will face Madman Pondo in a no rope barbed wire match. So they're going to remove the ropes and put barbed wire in its place. And then, of course, Damian Blackwell will, of course, also be in action as well. That is the seeded one will be in there. And but hey, if you want to help the family, I'm thinking about just going there and just checking out the show here too, because I just want to see how the product's going to be. And I like to spectate. I really do. I just want to kind of see how things are going. And how about Saturday night, December 4th, Knights of Columbus. Oh, and by the way, PW will have another show at the Alton Franklin Lodge on December 4th as well. But no one gave me a poster for that, so that's your fault. So December 4th, IEW, Holiday in Hell. This will be at the Knights of Columbus in Granite City. Gates open at 5, bells at 6. We'll just say adults $12, kids $5. And then, if your kid's under 5, you'll get in free. So Douglas O'Shea and Playboy Double H are expected to be in action. Of course, Chaos getting a shot at the IEW Heavyweight title.
And Playboy's going to kick his fat head.
Yeah. And then Sunday, December 5th, World Powerhouse Wrestling, the new version of WPW, will be in action. Ace Roberts, of course, in control with the purchase of WPW. Where will that company hold? After that, we'll see. But if you want to go, general admission is $12, front row is $15. Those are familiar prices from a show I just announced. But anyway, but there are VIP tickets for $20. Doors will open at 4:30, bells times at 5 o'clock. And there's your information if you want to get more information on tickets. Okay. And I think that's all I got right now. But what I want to do here is I'm going to break away from this because we want to talk about a great special evening that happened last night. And we're going to be talking that over with the man who just came on board here that actually accepted our invite and will be joining us here. So I'm going to be changing our theme here just a tad so we can include him in. And I'm not cutting anybody off here. So I want to be...
Cut me off. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Yeah, you're cut off. No. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only promoter of SICW is here in the house. Please welcome Mr. Herb Simmons. Hey, Herb, how you doing, sir?
Fine. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing okay. Actually, thanks for joining us here. You actually didn't miss much because we were running a little bit late ourselves. At least I was. I was.
Well,
So,
I hate to be late, but it's been a busy day after a long day yesterday, and I appreciate you guys doing this weekly and helping keep the word out there on the wrestling in and around the Midwest. Because as I've told you before, it's shows like this that keep the fans interacting and keep them involved, and it's really good.
Thank you.
yeah. Well, I mean, we try to do all that we can here, and like I said, we'd like to pander to multiple regions. We just have to work on that. But I think the Midwest, has a really solid ground of saying that we're probably one of the best areas around in the United States as far as when it comes to professional wrestling is concerned. So
you don't know sports entertainment? That's good shit.
Oh, will you stop that? Those are dirty words on my podcast. Don't you dare say those words again. How dare you?
Sorry.
How
Not
dare
sorry.
you? Anyway.
Well, you know, I think, and I say this all the time. You heard it there last night, Rick, from one of the NWA and WWE legends, Jerry Briscoe. You know, St. Louis was the hub of professional wrestling, and he stood there in that SICW ring last night and said that if you made it to St. Louis, you made it to that next level. And things that you guys are doing now is just building on that foundation. If those guys, the Briscoes, the Funks, the Bruiser Brodies, the Dick the Bruisers, guys like that built, and each and every show, I don't care which organization you're with, you know, there was multiple people there last night. PYT was in attendance. KLD was there to come out and show support. And, you know, when you talk about going out there and supporting one another, those guys, they come across that threshold last night because it was a history recording there, because not often does an organization get to say that, you know, they're working with the National Wrestling Alliance that we, most of us older, grew up on. But when you have the likes of the world champion Trevor Murdoch, and then Attila Khan in the main event, and then you have guys like Gary Jackson, the SICW Central States champion, in action, Rick Ruby, Big Texan, people like that. You were there, Rick. You saw the crowd, and I know there's a clown out there running around telling people there was 80 people there, but we had to pay the state taxes, and the state don't fudge on anything. And so I know what it was. And the bottom line is it was beyond the wrestling, the evening of just the induction of Sam Muchnick, Larry Matisek, and Mickey Garajola. That's history making. And then when you have Jerry Briscoe, Cowboy Bob Orton Jr., Ron Powers there, it was just an outstanding evening.
Yeah, absolutely it was. And you know, like I said, mostly, you know, there was just a lot that just took place last night. And I've got the booklet here right here. And let me just say, like, just the booklet itself, you know, the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame, when they make a program, man, yeah, and these are just fantastic people, you know. And I spoke to a lot of the guys at the Hall of Fame who represented this great organization last night, and they were thanking me, and I'm like, no, thank you, because I mean, who would have thought with the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame bringing wrestling in on an enshrinement, you know, on this great, you know, and like I said, 2021 has been really a noble year of how Wrestling at the Chase has come back. Not with just SICW, and with the great work of Ed Wheatley bringing back Wrestling at the Chase with the book, but of course also with the NWA bringing it back with NWA 73 inside the Coruscant Ballroom. I mean, you're bringing all those things together, Herb, and it just you know, it just feels like nostalgia again. It feels like professional wrestling is back alive, and it's back. We are reliving this era once again. On that.
Well, and you know, and what an error it would be to relive. And I know you guys are younger than I am, but I mean, when I get time to take a break, I put in some of them old 1960s or 70 or 80 matches and just sit there and look at the basics, look at the style that was there. I mean, I think it needs to be a part of any repertoire of any training center. It ought to be a requirement that these new young men and women that want to get into, it's a lot more than lacing up your boots, as you know, Rick. You got to learn the fundamentals of it. And Jerry Briscoe and Bob Orton sat there last night, talked about it, and was impressed. I mean, with the talent that we have in our locker room, and everybody says, "Oh yeah, well they're just saying that because you pay them to come in." Well, that's not always true. Jerry Briscoe and I have been friends for a long, long time. He's been in numerous times for us. Bob Orton, as you know, you've been around him quite a bit now. These guys are die-hard. They want to share their experiences with the young people. And I say all the time, if these young men and women ain't taking advantage of sitting there talking to them, shame on them, because that's an education that you'd have to pay for someplace else. I'm telling you.
Damn
Oh,
straight.
right, exactly.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah,
That's coming from a young buck.
Yeah.
But it's getting to the matches last night, and there's a lot of great sponsors that run this program. A lot that made this event happen, and thanks to them, Fast Times at Bridgeton, was one of the great sponsors throughout this. And then of course, Iron Horse Resources Incorporated was in here, just great. And then also in this program last night, you've got a list of all the entire inductees all time since when they started. And when I'm looking in here, Herb, it looks like the oldest year I can see it here is like in 2009. With that, I guess that's around when they started enshrining people.
Right.
With that, yeah.
And this is an organization when they reached out, thanks to Ed Wheatley, of course. I've been working with Ed on that book, and I get to tell people because it's the truth. I'm so fortunate I've been able to be a part of two books with the same title and two different authors. I helped Larry Matisek with the first Wrestling at the Chase book, and then when Ed's people approached me, I was excited about that. At first, I told them no, but then after meeting with Ed on two different occasions, he convinced me the type of book he was going to do was going to be different. And it surely is. You've seen it. You probably went through it a couple different times now. And people were picking them up there last night like they were hotcakes. And once you pick it up, it's one of those books you can't put down because if the paper is the more expensive paper, the book itself, the coffee table. But, above and beyond that, just the stories that are being told, and then to have Sam Muchnick's family there last night, Dan, his sister Kathy, Bob Garagiola, his family, Pat Matisek was there, Larry's wife, to be there to accept the honors of being inducted in there. I can't say enough for the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame because, these are the first three gentlemen that were involved in the professional wrestling. And people don't realize Wrestling at the Chase drew more viewership than any other program other than the Cardinals back in the day. It was the household name. Sam Muchnick kept it together all these years, and I couldn't have said it any better than what Jerry Briscoe said there last night. Him and his brother Jack, one of the all-time great champions, the biggest feuds in St. Louis was them against Dory and Terry Funk. So, I mean, they packed the arena, they packed the auditorium. And for him to be there to talk about what it was like wrestling at the Chase in that course, and just gave me chills, I'll tell you.
Oh man, yeah, and it's just with talking of the event last night, and everything just flowed in whenever we first started, and breaking in between, I mean, we had some fantastic matches, and I guess we'll get into that, and then, with having representatives of all three of the great gentlemen that went in last night, well, not just representatives, but family members, and just to see that the legacy still lives on, just to show how much that these three guys have meant to this business in this area, with Larry, with Sam, and with Mickey. I mean, it just, to me, I mean, it definitely gave me a thrill. And just looking inside that ballroom last night, and then us having to put on, once again, another, a stellar card, not just because I'm part of SICW, but trust me, I will call a spade if I will. And these guys I saw that. No, but no, it's just phenomenal how these guys continue to show up and show out every single time that SICW puts on a show. Herb.
Well, and I got to tell you, if you look back, Rick, you were fortunate to be on our card at the Missouri Athletic Club, a few weeks back. Another nostalgic place that ballroom style setting, along now with the big room there at the Holiday Inn, and we got to say thank you to them because they were such great people to work with this whole putting this together. And like I said, the Sports Hall of Fame, but I can tell you now, I don't have all the particulars, but there's another 3 or 4 of these types of events that's going to be coming up over the next several months in the St. Louis area surrounding the Wrestling at the Chase book. We had the film crew there yesterday that interviewed Jerry Briscoe for the film that's coming up. Be out. It's been moved back a couple of months now because they've had a change of the producer. Kara, the young lady who started it with Ed Wheatley and I, got a golden opportunity that she couldn't refuse. And now Paul Shankman, who used to be one of the local news anchor people on Channel 2, is now the producer of that documentary, the film that's coming out, the PBS film. And Paul was there last night, talked to a lot of people. They took a lot of video. So I think if you are one of the fans, and St. Louis has the greatest fans ever. I've said that for I'll be 48 years come February, and I'll continue to say that the best fans anywhere is here in the St. Louis region. They're going to be a part of seeing more history being made when this Wrestling at the Chase film comes out.
Yeah, and it like I said, I'm looking forward to that too. And I saw that huge PBS, those huge cameras from PBS 9 coming in, and they got some good filming throughout the show and to the event last night. And there were some crazy fans there last night. I don't know who was being real mouthy and all that. I would not put my finger on that, but but no, we had some good. We had some good interaction last night.
But and Rick, I wanted to talk about that just if I don't mean to cut you off there, but
no, it's okay.
When you have guys that and guys that are in the business, what does that say when they come out and support you? I mean, they can, people can talk all that crap, and for how long have we heard about the brotherhood? Well, I think it's time to either put up or shut up. And last night, I witnessed that brotherhood. I witnessed other organizations walking in that door. And guess what? Everyone that walked in that door, because it was a fundraiser for the Sports Hall of Fame, bought a ticket. I think that says a lot for these individuals. And I know some of you were getting the raspberries from them, but you take it in stride. And those are the same guys that when you get across that squared circle from them, you're going to put on one hell of a show. And the people who benefit from that are the people who are spending their hard-earned money to come out there and see you guys do what you do best. And I'm going to tell you what, it touched me last night when, PYT, those guys, I bet I heard from them 3 or 4 times throughout the week. At first they didn't think they were going to make it. And up until yesterday afternoon, Chris didn't know if he was going to. And then he finally said he could do it. And he shows up. Like I said, KLD was there in attendance. Keith Smith was there in attendance. People like that. So, like I said, it's either shut up or put up. And SICW, as always, a lot of you guys don't remember, it was us that started the first inter-organization tryouts. We held them right there at the East Grand Lake Community Center. That's where Ben Simon, the ring announcer for multiple agencies, first come and made his appearance there. So I don't want to hear nothing about SICW doesn't work with anybody, because we work around the world if we have to with anybody who wants to come and be a part of SICW. And I was so excited last night to see them. And they weren't there to support me. They were there to support you guys, and they're busting your butt in that ring, I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, well, like you said, and I think that also not just for brotherhood, but it also shows a great sign of respect too,
Exactly.
to support guys in the business. But with a great card that happened last night, I believe Bobby D defeating Sean Vincent, me and Big Texan fought to a double count out.
I didn't know what was going to happen with you guys, man. You guys were in the ring, out of the ring. I thought, holy cow! I was standing there hearing some of them fans saying, "Keep those two big guys over there, will you?"
Well, we got out, and that Big Texan sure happens to find a way to get the body slam me, and I didn't want no part of it. And the man was chasing me, so but yeah, so it ended up just lost track, and you get counted out sometimes, and when you want to take advantage of somebody, but it's all right. But nobody won, so that's the whole thing. See, nobody won. It's all right. Nobody won. Nobody lost.
You two,
draw.
like I said, I got to see some snippets from last night, because some footage may or not have leaked on the internet. And you guys were hitting each other, so it was a good little show.
Oh, trust me. And
the one thing I noticed, Miz, is he escaped that big lariat from the Texan.
He did.
And I got to say, you're a smart man, Rick.
I know what hard clothesline feels like, and I didn't feel like it last night. So if I know it's coming, I'm not going to try and challenge it. So, but yeah, so nobody won, and I believe it was Superstars Defender somehow getting his hand raised over Niles Planquet.
What a match that was! I'll tell you,
that would have been a good match. Yeah, that would have been a fun match to watch.
And then what about the ladies? Man, I'll tell you what, I'm just impressed, and I haven't seen her in ages, but I am impressed with Malaya Hosaka after all these years. And hats off to you, Herb. I mean, a class act through and through. As
well,
ladies
I'm going to tell you, she is as tough as any man that I've seen in there, and she pulled no bones about it. I think PYT and those guys started giving her, or somebody over there in that area, as soon as she got in the ring, they started getting on her, and man, she just fired right back at them. I thought, well, we may have an impromptu match right here. But no, Malaya has always been good, and you're going to see a lot more of her in SICW. And of course, Miranda Gordy. I mean, there's a young talent that is just going all over. And, she got a little education last night from Malaya. But I think we're going to see them both back in FCW real quickly, along with some other surprises coming down the pike here.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that. And those women actually battled to a double disqualification, and I was shocked.
Man,
double disqualification in the women's match.
Man, when she, Malaya got thrown into that chair, and of course that one fan, she almost ended up on his lap, and of course he didn't mind it. I got a kick. He didn't know if he could reach down and help get her up or what, and he sit back up in the chair. But they had a cat fight going on there for a little bit.
Oh my God, yeah. So
and then that poor bell, the original Wrestling at the Chase bell.
Oh, they're throwing it around the ring.
And it was, you guys, you had to be there, Miz. Jerry Briscoe was sitting there, and when the referee managed to get the bell, he slid it across the apron and it fell out on the floor. Jerry Briscoe looked at me and he said, Herb, you haven't got enough money in your pocket to pay what that bell's worth. that is the original bell from wrestling. And a lot of people didn't realize there's two bells, actually. I've got the one that we use. Larry Matisek always carried that in his car. And the reason why he did that in the trunk of it is at times the ring people would forget that bell that was there last night because we had both of them. And we've got video of both the big white bell that was there last night, along with the one Larry actually carried in his car. So because he used to have to make a few trips back home to get the bell every now and then, or go back to the studio. So he said, I'm gonna stop this, and we're gonna have an extra one. So when they did, they didn't have to run back. And the one that we've got that we use at SICW used to have a rope on the the handle, and it got broke. And Larry's dad actually put a chain on it. And but that big white one is the one that was used mainly at wrestling at the Chase. And if you look at any of those classic footage that we have, you'll see Mickey Garagiola. His main job was, if anybody got out of the ring, was to grab that bell and head towards Lindell Boulevard, because Sam said, "Don't let nothing happen to that bell."
Right. And before we go on to the next match here, apparently Playboy was or called Playboy ugly, and how is that possible? She's just jealous that she didn't go home with him. Well,
that's my dude right there.
I guess we got to get over our scars somehow, right? But then the next match, Gary Jackson, another impressive outing, I will say, against Waco, and defending the Central States title successfully on that. And I will say, it's a wonder with Gary Jackson how long and what I will say, out of respect, a well-deserved length. What a great career he's had in this business, and it's still going today. And just very impressive with Gary Jackson getting the win over Waco and a Texas Cloverleaf by chance. I was like, "Well, isn't that poetic justice? Making a Texan tap out to the Texas Cloverleaf, you know,
insult to injury."
Yeah, right. Well, to him, yes. It is insult to injury.
Well, and I got to take my hat off to Gary, the Night Train, because, after he won, he did his usual leading up to the four rules, and but the man has had, as you said, a long career. Veteran, 25-year, retired from the military, a National Guard. Always gives thanks and praise to everybody. He appreciates all the fans, and of course, he always ends it up with those four rules, and more of the fans that will start to repeating those rules for him. So he's a class act, really.
Fourth rule: don't forget the rules.
Yeah. He is cut from a rare cloth, and that is saying that in a very highly positive way, and especially serving the country for that long. And but yeah, hats off to Gary for that. But let's talk about the main event and how that we had all this buildup, and it's pretty much out there on the web now that Attila Khan did not come away with the NWA World Heavyweight title. So what I'm going to kind of get your take on is this: are you relieved, or are you kind of disappointed that somehow that NWA title is not on the brand of SICW now?
Well, it's no secret. I was fortunate to get to do a interview with the world champion a couple of weeks back, and Trevor even pointed it out. He said, "Herb, I can kind of sense you're foaming at the mouth over that, because if Attila gets it and gets to come back to come to SICW, it's definitely a plus." And yes, it would have been nice. I wish I'd have had. I could have picked. Anytime Travis Cook is associated with something, I get a little rash, as you might say. But again, the better man for one night won. Trevor is came in there, had everything to lose. Attila come in there with everything to gain, and it was some of the calls and messages I got today was, if you look at any of the footage or the pictures, Trevor's chest was beat red from those chops and those blows that Attila. I think he was doing everything he could to knock the wind and get him off of his game. But, and of course, then when I got outside the ring, a chair and the chair shot that Trevor delivered to Attila, it was listed as a shot heard around the state of Missouri, basically.
I believe it. That was out in the halls.
It was. I thought Bruiser Brody was in the building, I'll tell you. But it was a hard-fought match, and whether you like Attila Khan or not, man's been around, been a veteran for a long, long time. He went in there, gave it his all, but you live to fight another day, and but what class act both of them men are, and to say that they represented that 10 pounds of gold at SICW is great. Yeah, I would have loved to, even though I'd have hated Travis having that belt. And I know Billy, Mr. William Corrigan, wouldn't have liked that either. But it happens. It's wrestling, and like I said, both of those guys have nothing to be ashamed of. They can Attila can hold his head high, and if anything else, it's just going to make him hungrier going down the road.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it was just kind of because I got a chance to witness the match in person, and yeah, let me just say that chair shot, boy, that just even hurt me seeing that deliver because, and I've taken chair shots from Telecom back years ago, and I've taken one to the head, and I was concussed. So let's just say the man hits hard. So, but to see Trevor come back and just you pay him back with even something harder, I would have hate to been. I just want to know how Attila Khan is with his back today.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
I don't know. I've been dealing with Travis a little bit today because he's complaining about that should have been a disqualification when Trevor used the chair, but he's filing paperwork with the NWA, and of course he didn't read the fine print that there was no basis of that. If you look at the entire footage, it was actually Attila Khan who grabbed the chair and went over, and he was going to use it on Trevor, and Trevor kind of outmaneuvered him. So right's right and wrong's wrong, and like I said, they both live to fight another day.
Right. Well, I know. I think Travis is trying to put some claim whenever Attila had him covered, and the referee purposely stopped the count and waited for the foot to come onto the rope. So that's what I'm hearing. But fair is fair. Referee has the final call, and trust me, that would be just a severe litigation that just wouldn't need to be. But Trevor though. I mean, he came in there. He was just, my gosh, after seeing all these years back in town and in action, and just to see that, and knowing how I did have talks to Trevor in the back last night because I was around whenever Trevor first got this business, and he told some of the guys too. And when some of those stories that got brought up, I was like, man, that was pretty cool. But
yeah, and what class act? First thing this morning, one of the first text messages I get was from Trevor Murdoch, just basically saying, hey, I appreciate the opportunity, and it was a hard fought match, and he has all the respect in the world for Attila Khan, and but what a class act. I mean, he's always been that way.
Yeah, and but just to see that NWA World Heavyweight Championship on him, and it just it was just an awesome, just to say that, man, it's kind of awesome how the journey that he's gone, even for being a Missouri boy, going through WWE, and then coming back to revive himself in the NWA. Now he's world's heavyweight champion, knocking off a guy who had the belt for nearly 3 years.
Yep.
I mean, that's just tremendous. So
Magnus.
Yeah. I mean,
that match was awesome. I mean, both matches. The Attila versus Trevor and the Magnus one.
Yeah. But man, but just a fantastic night overall. And like I said, if we got more events like these coming up, I just can't wait to see what kind of events are in line.
Got some good ones coming up. So I'll be releasing the next one coming up pretty shortly in January. So stay tuned. And like I said, they're going to be just as good, if just as big, if not bigger.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, we touched on recently. December 11th is going to be the last show for SICW with Team Flash versus Team Travis Cook in the 6-man.
Team Travis Cook all the way.
Right, that was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quick. That's going to be my favorite thing of the December 11th. Is Santa Claus is going to be there.
Yes.
every time
yes.
Santa Claus is in the house, everybody's got to be on their good behavior. I'm hoping Travis Cook will be. I doubt if he will be. But, that's going to be a 6-man tag elimination match. They'll each announce their teams that night. I think, Mr. Ruby, I think you're going to be in action there that night. We're still working on some final things on that. But it's all coming together. And of course, then Sunday, we'll do some more TV tapings, which is, I really want to, if I can, give a shout out to all the people who are following the TVs, because it's good. And we'll be making an announcement here real quickly where we're going to be probably coming back on a St. Louis market with the TV also. So I just signed some paperwork on that this week. So the TV tapings, as you know, Rick, you've been there, and it takes a lot to get that done, and but we're doing it, and I think everybody's having fun doing it. And I get people saying, well, I saw it on Hannibal TV and you didn't have nobody there. Well, it's a studio audience, and then you have to explain to them what that's all about. And then once you do that, they say, oh, okay, well, we're going to give it a shot, But you can come out for an afternoon for 3-4 hours on a Sunday and get you get your wrestling fix.
Yeah, there you go. And I keep telling them, it's like, if you miss the studio feel like it was back in the day, even with like backward wrestling, that to chase to some other territories, Mid-Atlantic, Georgia, Championship Wrestling, and all that back in the days. I mean, they did that all the time. I mean, there's nothing like it. And just to be up there, up close and personal. And I mean, people don't don't give it the reviews that it should get. You're missing out on something, especially if you can get in there free if you're there from the night before. And also, like I said, I've told all of our listeners here too that with your ticket purchase on Saturday night here too, and I'm going to have to converse with you on this, but we're going to be giving away 2 copies of the Wrestling That's Chase book that night. So,
man, what a Christmas gift!
Yeah, it's like, hey, Santa Claus is there, and Falls Count everywhere is trying to get there to kind of already give the gifts already before Santa can load up his sleigh. So if you want to get your hands on this book over my left shoulder, you're going to have to get down and get yourself a ticket and take a chance of trying to win it, because we will give away 2 of those copies. So, so I just, we're going to close out 2021, the best way possible, especially with SICW, and any other takeaways from last night, Herb, that these fans need to know about, and kind of let them know what exactly they missed besides just a great card. Any other details that the fans need to know about, as far as like what happened last night.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway from there is, like I said, above the wrestling, was just the historical recording of history to be documented. I mean, years from now, there are going to be people talking about Sam Muchnick, Larry Matisek, and Mickey Garagiola being inducted into that St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame. It's in the record book now. And there will be people that was there last night that will be talking about that. There was a lot of our fans that came there, our regular fans, as I said on my post that I put out. It was heartwarming to see the loyal fans come out, but then so many new fans that was coming up saying, man, we didn't realize this. There were people that was guests there in the hotel that had never been to a wrestling event before that came up and said, man, we didn't know it was like this. So I think the thing that you take away from an event like that is we're keeping those memories alive of the people. I mean, I saw some judges there I knew. I saw some professional people there. I saw some union workers there, friends of ours. And again, it was that atmosphere like it was back at the Chase. They had tables set up. They had sponsorships out there, as you mentioned at the beginning. The Sports Hall of Fame, people really worked hard on it. The induction part of it, and then to have the Muchnick and the Garagiola and Matisek's families there was, it's always something like this. These individuals are gone, but their families get to enjoy that and let them know what the fans really thought about their loved ones. That's why I always said, and I'll use the example of Izzy Blackwell. Izzy was a local talent that passed away. They're having a memorial service for him. What a great tribute! But wouldn't it be nice that we tell people what we thought about them while they were still here to hear it?
Amen.
Because we never know when that number is going to get punched. But again, that's the way it's been. But I think if there's one thing we should learn is that if that person truly meant that much to us now, did he mean that much to us before? And we probably should have told him back then, because he was in this business a long time. He trained a lot of people and worked with them, and I hope they had a great turnout. I hope they raised some money for the family, and it's just a good thing they're doing. And but it would have been nice for Izzy to be here and have people walk up and say, hey, and tell those stories. And that's what Jerry Briscoe and I did for the last 2 days, because he came in a day early. I get to sit there and listen to all those great stories from him and Bob Orton and people like that. And I can hear them over and over. But the takeaway from that is just keep those memories alive. And you guys that are out there lacing up them boots and getting in there, doing what you love to do, the passion of it, man, it makes me feel good to know that you guys still care for it that enough to go out there and continue to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, even with guys like Gary Jackson, that are still doing it, and other guys in my and also American Championship Wrestling, such as Brian James, who celebrated a birthday today. By the
Yes,
way,
he did. Happy birthday!
Yeah,
to the bomb.
Brian James doesn't count.
Yeah, and also my manager.
That man's immortal. Like Brian James doesn't count. He's immortal.
Yeah,
I swear by it.
These guys are not. These guys, and I even asked Gary last night, passing by, like, "Hey, you still have not told me where this fountain of youth is, where you're sipping from, and you don't tell anybody." He's like, "Well, I can't tell everybody." So it's like it must be a secret. And Brian is drinking from that same fountain too.
Well, Rick, you talk about ACW Searcher, running those shows that he does, keeping that tradition and history alive. New Breed Wrestling, the owner, Scotty Z, was there last night because he worked with me on this show. But it's when you've got organizations that can work together, I guarantee you the outcome, the people who benefit are the fans. And I'll say it till the day I get ready to leave here. 2 things you got to have if you're going to be in this business. You better have good talent and you better have good fans. Because if you don't, you're not going to be in this business.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it's my intentions to attend this Izzy Blackwell memorial show tomorrow night, because I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it to help with supporting the family. And Izzy, me and Izzy had battles too, about roughly around 19 years ago, and in other promotions, and so it's a respect to him, and definitely his son's coming up, and hopefully in the business, and hopefully he continues to get the getting the best education he can outside of wrestling, and then going inside of wrestling, because and I can't stress that enough. Just on a side note, because even somebody last night, Herb, I did go out and I did, was getting like a soda and maybe something to eat. And we had a family who had came by and saw me. And apparently that was their very first show they attended last night. And I was like, "Do you even watch WWE?" And they're like, "Well, not really that much." And I'm like, "Well, I'm telling you," I said, "that we've got a lot out there, and I've urged to keep coming to the shows that's put on by SICW." And I told him, I said, "Hey, the kid likes it, then keep bringing the kid back, But we had a nice little conversation with the family last night that came by, and their first show ever. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow,
Well,
so that's crazy.
And there's a lot of people out there, it's no secret wrestling. And we've always said it's kind of like a roller coaster. It's over the years. It's been down and then it comes back up. And it's on an incline now. There's no doubt about it, especially on our level. I don't like the word independent, as I've been said before. The states that require licensing, there's not a license out there that anybody can show me that says that you're an independent wrestler. It says you're a professional wrestler. But again, it's a term that's been out there for many, many years. So just because I don't like it, that doesn't mean anything, because I don't look at you as an independent wrestler. I look at you as a professional wrestler. Anybody out there, I don't care if I've had issues with you or not. You're out there, you're in there, you're given 110% every time you step between those ropes. And we can agree to disagree, but all I ask is when you go out there that you're doing your best to give those hardworking fans the best show possible. And they saw that last night. They see that every night at a show, whether it's with SICW, whether it's with ACW, whether it's with New Breed, whoever it may be. If they've got a good locker room, you guys are going out there doing the best you can. Yeah, are you going to have a bad night? We all do. We all have a bad day at work. And when you're in that ring, you're working. So if you have a bad night, guess what? You do the same thing you do at work. You overcome, you conquer it, and you move on. Because guess what? Down the road, there's going to be another match. And you're going to go in there and you're going to be on your A game. And hopefully those same fans are going to be sitting there and they brought their family, they brought their neighbors. It's like the domino effect. So when I hear guys, sometimes guys will call me and say, oh, I made a mistake. I did this, I did that. Who saw it? I may have saw it because I'm looking. The fans that are sitting out there are there to be entertained, and you guys do a damn good job at it.
And sometimes this is one thing as a fan. Okay, so I'm taking this literally as a fan. I think us fans nitpick the mistakes sometimes too much, or what we think are mistakes. But if you're a damn good wrestler, sometimes you make those mistakes look like they're meant to happen, and it really adds to the match in a sense. So I just wanted to add that. I'm sorry.
No, I love your input because, that's what more of the workers need to do is put themselves in that fan perspective, because every one of them should have been a fan before they became a talent. And if they would just sit back and say, when I was that fan sitting there watching them at that show, or I was watching it on TV, there's a saying in the business, a cardinal sin. And I bet you 95% of the workers out there don't even know what that means. But I see it, but I pulled guys off to the side and said, look, that was a cardinal sin you made there. In the future, this is what you need to try to do. And I'm not a worker. Never been a worker. I tell people I guess I'm smarter than that, going in or getting hit with a chair like I tell a guy last night. But again, I look at it from not only the promoter side of it. Before I was a promoter, guess what? I was a fan for many, many years, still a fan. And so I put myself, just like you said, Miz, as a fan perspective. And when I see a guy that makes a mistake and he can just with a blink of an eye make it look like it wasn't, that's a guy who knows the fundamentals of this business. Because we're all going to make mistakes. And those guys, you can't go in that ring and be a professional wrestler and not make a mistake. Don't care who you are. I'll name Luthez, Pat O'Connor, Edouard Carpentier, Red Bastien, Johnny Valentine. They all made mistakes in that ring. But they sold tickets. They put butts in those seats because they knew how to adapt and overcome.
Amen to that.
Amen to that. And we hope to keep doing it for generations to come. And
I have all the confidence in the world that you will. I won't be here to see it, but I know that this business is going to go on strong because there are guys like you, Rick, the Big Texan, the professionals, the Sean Vincents, the Steve Fenders, all the guys, and all the other organizations are going to be out there, and they're going to hopefully, if they're not, it's shame on them if they're not passing that knowledge on to the younger generations. Then I'm sorry for them, because it will be a lost art if they don't do that. It's like promoting. If you don't know the fundamentals of promoting, you're just out there, you're playing with it, and then that's what you're going to get. You're going to be the guy left on the playground with your marbles.
Oh yeah, yeah. You always got to get back in this business. You always got to prepare your next generation that's coming in, and I'm at that stage now for any because there's definitely kids younger than me still trying to get in, and so yeah, to get Biz in there. But Biz wants to get in with his mouth. That's what he wants to do. I know he's chomping at the bit to get in there.
My jaws do the best work. I'm just saying, I'm not the most athletic guy, and trust me, I don't have the body like a Playboy does. But I have a jaw and a gift for gab that not many can teach. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, like I said, it's everybody has a niche in this business if they want to, and you keep your eyes focused, stay focused on it. And a lot of guys that say, "Hey, I want to get this done, I want to do it," and they can do it if they just stay focused and put their mind to it and not try to BS people. Go out there and do what you think. And then, like I said, the best thing to do is become that sponge. Soak up all the knowledge you can soak up. That's what I did. That's what Larry Matisek did. He did it with Sam. He sat in the office. I did it with Larry. Knowledge. That's what I said earlier. If these guys aren't sitting in those locker rooms when you have a Ricky Steamboat or a Bob Orton or a Jerry Briscoe or a David Schultz or a Haku, if you're not sitting in there picking their brains and asking them, "Hey, critique my match," shame on you. I mean, because it's not costing you anything to do that.
Yeah,
costing you your time to sit there, and there hasn't been a one of them that said, "Nah, get away from me, kid. I don't want to talk to you."
I can say I think I have a leg up because I was doing shows with people and doing announcing for different companies and stuff a little bit here and there. But then when I got this opportunity, I'm like, I'm gonna draw back, and I'm just gonna start here and let this groundwork really work me. And I'm going to what you said, you be that sponge, because 100% that's exactly what I feel like I am. And when I was at Spooktacular, hanging out with Ricky Morton for a while over there at the Rock and Roll Express, him and I talked for a good 45 minutes while I was waiting in line for Sergeant Slaughter. And he gave me some great information, great tidbits. I told him what I am to wrestling or what wrestling means to me. And we shared a moment, and all over my son having a long hair. So like, it was a great moment. But at the time, I'm very thankful for that ability to just sit there and talk to him about my journey and what I want to see for myself. And even Jerry the King Lawler that night. I wasn't in the back room. I was a fan that night. And these guys took the time out of their way to, spread a little bit of knowledge to me, and it was awesome. So I do thank you all.
And that's what, these guys are. I mean, and that's one of the things when they come in, I tell them, I want you to critique the matches of the guys, and they may pick your brain, and they will. I mean, it's just, and the one I really think about is Ricky Steamboat. I mean, it's Swansea Firehouse. They kept him after the ring was even down. The ring crew was done, and I went back in, and I thought everybody had left, and his talent was in there, and Ricky was sitting in the middle of the room, and they were all around him, and they had notepads out taking notes, and it was the damnedest thing I saw, and he was loving every bit of it, and again, you soak that knowledge up, and it's one thing to soak it up, but then you have to use it. If you just keep it in you, then you have wasted your time. But Miz, I can tell you're a guy that's not going to waste it. You're going to use it.
Oh, 100%. You give me an opportunity, and I'm going to take it, and I'm going to try to run with it, and I'm going to give it the best. And if I do fail, then I fail, and I'm going to get back up, brush myself off, and try it again. I'm going to beat my head against the wall until I make something of myself. That's for damn sure.
There you go. That's a good. You got half of it right there, and that's called a positive attitude.
Thank you, sir. It means a lot. It really does.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to let you guys get out of here. I know you got a lot more to talk about tonight. I just want to thank you once again for the platform that you have here, and I know you let people come on, and I appreciate that. And like I said, it's good hearing the other guests that you've had on that you do get to tune in. But I appreciate what you do for the business.
Man, Hope, thanks a lot for coming on, and once again for pulling off a great, spectacular event last night with the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame. Looking forward to more events like that. And like I said, they were very pleased last night for everybody I talked to. And just kudos to you and all the work that you do to make stuff like this happen, man. It's greatly appreciated with that.
Thank you, and tell your wife. Hope she gets to feeling better. And if you need anything, let me know.
All right, Herb. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it, and you have a good rest of your night, man.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Evening, good man.
All right. Well, hey,
I'm so free right there. Oh,
there you go.
No, I had to.
There we go. Yeah, but hey, we've got some more things to talk about here. But man, I'm just telling you right now, Z. I know you wanted to come down last night.
Oh, very much so. I wish I could have. I'm glad somebody was sneaking footage out of there last night because I was hooked on Facebook just waiting. I didn't know if I should watch AEW or continue watching Facebook to see if somebody was going to leak some more footage. And I'm so glad that I was paying attention to both last night because, whoo, good stuff out of that show last night.
AEW needs to finish
except for you getting a double DQ.
Yeah, AEW needs to finish that possible agreement with HBO Max so we can just not have
I would love for that to happen. Dear Lord, please.
Right? Because I'm about ready to get that here. You know why? So
if that deal is if that deal's true, it's a great fucking deal for them, and it's a great idea. And I've been saying it since Lucha. So Lucha Underground put all their stuff on Netflix at one time.
Wow.
Because Lucha Underground and Netflix were supposed to be striking a deal for a weekly show.
Right.
Why has nobody struck this deal? I have not. It blows my mind, and I hope AEW is the first one to do it because they would deserve it the most, in my opinion. And last night, dude, it wasn't a solid 100% show. I'll be honest with you. But it was a damn good 7-star show, in my opinion.
7 out of 10 or 7 out of 5?
7 out of 10. I go out of 10. I don't go out of 5. I go to 10. I'm not Dave Meltzer. I'm not doing 5 stars and breaking my own damn rules and stuff. What are you talking about?
Shoot. Oh, well, brace yourself. You may hear his name a little bit later in the podcast. So.
That's right. Shots fired. I can't stand that guy. I mean, I like him to a point.
Yeah. 7-star matchup all night long.
Right, yeah. Young Bucks, 5 stars.
Shots fired.
What, Young Bucks are in the match? 5 stars. Shut up, dude. Get out of here.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, 2 praying mantises in the ring. 5 stars.
It's in Japan. 5 stars. Tokyo Dome. 5 stars.
Did you say Rosie O'Donnell?
No, it said Tokyo Dome.
Oh,
Rosie.
Where did I get Rosie O'Donnell from?
That's fucking gold. That's gold right there. That deserves a 6 stars right there.
Oh shit! Oh wow!
But no, it was the overall show last night was really good. I actually didn't mind Raw too bad this week. Wasn't too complaining about that. I love me some NXT. I know you're not a big fan of the 2.0, but I really enjoy 2.0. I have a huge love for Joe Gacy, like massive love for Joe Gacy. The guy just hits everything for me, and I am enjoying. And I'm going to segue. I'm going to steal the show for a minute, okay? I'm going to steal the show for a minute. This is a perfect segue because Joe Gacy is doing a feud right now with Roderick Strong, who we know as the Cruiserweight Champion, right?
Right.
Rumor has it WWE's wanting to get away from the Cruiserweight title. I think it's a great idea. I've always liked the idea of the Cruiserweight title, but something that TNA did better than anybody else, in my opinion, when TNA was the X Division. And the X Division was a no-limit division. No weight class, no nothing. You were a high flyer, you high fly. If you're ground and pound, you ground and pound. And they really established that title as like that workhorse title, okay? If you want to say it in that premise. I think WWE is at a point where they could actually do that with the Cruiserweight title. I'm not saying that Joe Gacy is going to be like the stepping stone, but he has this demeanor, this broken ideology of the safe space as all people being accepted in there, women, men, all that kind of stuff. Like and it works for the division, that I think they could really do something really cool with him as a groundwork. Like I said, I just really enjoy Joe Gacy, and I pray the guy gets really over with WWE, because he's a great heel where you don't realize he's a heel, but he actually is a heel. It's beautiful, it's gold, and I can't praise the man enough. I really can't.
Yeah, they're talking, and from what I was reading on that article here, that yeah, I mean, it may even go away, if he retains the the NXT Cruiserweight title, even though WWE as the company is considering dropping the title, even from the brand, from the fruit kaleidoscope brand. It used to be black and gold. Now it's Tutti Frutti.
Fruit kaleidoscope.
Tutti Frutti. That's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it
Tutti
Tutti Frutti.
I mean, I understand why I get rid of it, and I'm not mad at him for it. The NXT, the Cruiserweight title really hasn't meant anything in a long time, since when Payak had it, and Enzo and him were really fighting over it. I mean, Escobar did a really good job of reestablishing it, in my opinion, and they could do more with that. But what else is there for WWE to do with it? And if they can focus into the North American title scene a little bit more or something, that makes more sense. I'm not saying, but like you said on the post, but they're keeping the 24/7 title. Like, that's the point. Like, why are you keeping that title but getting rid of this title? I mean, that's fine. I'm not gonna throw a shitstorm about it, but I will miss the Cruiserweight title. I thought the title was a beautiful title. It was not a trashy looking title, actually. Even the original rendition of it, I like the newer one the better. And there's been some great champions with it. People don't want to say it, but Enzo was decent as a champion for what he was for the division. Pac carried that fucking title and made it gold, if you ask me. And it's just sad that we didn't get to see really a good Drew Gulak Cruiserweight title run. They could have done so much more, is what I'm saying. That's all it is. And there's certain people that say that, well, WWE fans didn't support it enough. You're right. WWE fans didn't support 205 Live enough, but WWE didn't give us a reason to support 205 Live enough.
Right. And remember when 205 Live went on as one of their flagship shows on the network before it got sold out to Peacock. But the whole thing is that there's been some reports here with Dave Meltzer here, and our good buddy here, your good buddy, that there could be possible changes coming to the title as making it an additional secondary title.
Yes.
That would not, and I don't know if they working into Gacy's character, or do you working into the NXT company itself?
I think you do both, actually. More so towards Gacy's character, because Gacy's character is that safe space, like everybody inclusive, and how him and Harold are having, I can't stand his name's Harold, but like, whatever. I'm not going to fight WWE on this. You give me it, I'm going to try to enjoy it and regurgitate it to the fans. But like their dynamics and stuff, and his dynamic, and just how his character plays. Like, they did an invitational, right? Where he had a small cruiserweight guy, a female, and a big guy. And then the whole like segment was just so well done. And like you can feel the dude's creepiness, but like at the same time you're drawn into his character, and it's so well done that like you can't help but be enjoying what's going on. So I'm totally for it. Let's see where it goes and what happens with it, and if they can build on the legacy that is the Cruiserweight by adding a no limit style like the X Division, I'm all for it. I'm sold and I'm in. Let's go WWE.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if they make some kind of other, idea of how to create a secondary title, but they're kind of putting away with it because they felt like they were trying to get their stars to cut below the 205 weight limit to call it 205. And here's another thing, though, and that's why they're kind of doing away with that, which I'm kind of surprised at that, because some of these guys are too small, and I'm like, you're really over 200 pounds. It's like
well, Tony Nese was 222, I think it was, or 221 when he won the title, like his actual weight.
Oh, wow. Yeah, God, what a hefty ass, Jeez. Um,
Right.
but the whole idea is now, what do you do? Because if you follow on WWE, 205 Live is basically NXT's version of WWE Main Event.
Right.
So what do you do with that show? Do you rename it? God,
No, I think you
please
keep it.
do.
I still think you keep it 205 Live, and here's how you fix it. This literally just popped my idea, and this is the dumbest idea in the world. So I'm going to be first and foremost with everybody. This is fucking stupid.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. We actually got a call coming in, so we're going to answer that and
Oh man. Okay, that's fair. I like this. It's GQ, isn't it?
No, it's actually not for a change. So you got the Falls Count Everywhere podcast. Who's this?
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas back to you.
Oh, hey. Oh, okay. I think it's Mr. Wallace that's on the phone. Hey, what's going on, Aaron?
Well, it's going great.
Good, man. So what's on your mind tonight?
Well, I heard that Herb Simmons was very excited to see you again.
Oh yeah, he got on that. Yeah, he got on here this evening because he was talking about the entire St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame Enshrinement last night with the three great gentlemen going in to the Hall of Fame, and of course with the SICW card they had, and I'm sure you're kind of happy that Attila Khan is not the NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Boo! Yeah. He should be champion.
There's controversy in that, but all
Attila
around
Khan all day.
Match, from the stands, and it was hard fought. Trust me, those guys slugged it out, and Trevor came out on top. So, yeah, man. So what's going on today, man? What's on your mind?
Well, the fans don't know that Trevor Murdoch was actually a WWE superstar who won the three-time World Tag Team Champions with his late great partner Lance Cade.
Yeah.
Right, of course, yeah, with Lance Cade, exactly.
And I even saw him when he was in a restaurant in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it was years before that.
Was he a busboy?
Yes.
He was a busboy?
No, he was a customer.
Oh, he's okay.
You bothered him, didn't you? You bothered him. You went to the bathroom with him and tried to get a picture.
No, you wouldn't do that. I misunderstood because I thought it was like, well, I saw him when he had a job.
Years before. Oh, wait, okay. So I was misconstrued it too.
I thought that too.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, well, me and Trevor actually have a little bit of a history as well. So, and we got to catch up a little bit last night, and it was cool, and it's well deserving that he is carrying around the NWA World strap
very
right
much
now.
So. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and hey. And also a quick plug here for NWA Hard Times 2. That's also this Saturday on pay-per-view as he faces Mike Knox, defending that title now. So
I've heard about that.
Yep. So I think, honestly, Trevor couldn't have picked a better warm-up match for to prepare against Mike Knox on Saturday. What do you think?
It sounds very good.
Yeah.
Two former WWE superstars going at it.
Yep. Absolutely, yeah, and even with Mike Knox was mostly on that cheesy ECW.
Don't say that. No.
Which, come on, man.
That.
I want to mention this. Come on, we got to give. Hold on, we got to give Z a hard time here on that last version of the ECW Championship. Really, dude?
It was a great title. Like, okay,
it looks like a punch bowl.
I agree with you. I agree with everybody. It is not the title that we fell in love with ECW. It's not the title that was like nostalgia to the ECW. And in the original ECW title, it freaking blows almost every WWE title out of the water, in my opinion. There's only a few that are above that title in design. But that last ECW title, there's still something special about it. It might be WWE branded, but I still like it. Hate me for it. I don't care. I still think that title's a decent looking title.
There you go. There's my opinion.
What? What'd you do?
Last EC.
I actually got a question.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Would it be possible if the WPW have a hardcore championship?
I mean, yeah. That's
It's
if the promoter wants it.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, WPW did change ownership, and what GQ brought up here last week is that all the champions have been stripped of their championships now that ownership is gone, which has been an unprecedented move, not a popular move, but yet an unprecedented move. And now everybody's fighting to get titles back. This is tag titles, this is the U.S. title, and this is even the heavyweight title. So are they going to add a hardcore title to this? Or are they going to get back into the hardcore title picture? That's to be seen. But that's a very interesting point. Definitely an interesting point on that.
Good point.
Yeah. And who knows, man? Maybe we'll hear some results of the show because unfortunately I do have to return to my real job on Sunday for work. I won't be able to make that show, but hopefully I can hear hopefully I can get a scouting report on what happened on that show, and maybe we can get some results here next week. So hopefully we can get
cow, this card looks amazing.
And I really miss those guys.
Yeah. So so whole new ownership, and we'll definitely look into that. So all right, well, thanks for giving us a call, man. We're gonna go ahead and move on, but I appreciate you giving us a call tonight, man.
Well, thank you. Merry Christmas to you.
All right, Merry Christmas, guy.
Merry Christmas, friend.
All righty, so there we go. And so I know I tease you about the ECW title because I couldn't get, and you know what, my boy Renee over at the Wrestle Talk podcast, he's got it up on his wall too. I can't really.
It's not the prettiest title. I'll agree with people. It's not the prettiest title. Like, I will be first and foremost with you. But like, one of the followers of We Talk Wrestling pointed out, the title is designed to be platinum and not silver, like everybody thinks it is. Like, it is considered a platinum title. Platinum is higher than gold on the list and stuff. So, like, WWE, I don't think WWE would intentionally make a shitty title unless they make the 205 Live over and over again. But I don't know. There's just something about that title like cool. And I'm not a Hardy Boy fan by much of the phrase, but Matt Hardy made that title look cool, feel cool, and there's just something about it. Like when Mark Henry had it over his shoulder, like that title just looked badass. And the Hall of Pain, like everything about that whole set, that I liked it. I'm not saying you need to like it. I'm just saying I liked it and I loved it and I'm going to promote it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, you know, I mean, some people are fans of it, and you know, hey, you know, it's but the last ECW champion, I believe, was Ezekiel Jackson.
Ezekiel Jackson was the last ECW champion. Yes. He was the last WWE ECW champion, which that guy didn't even belong in. I didn't like the guy in the first place, so whatever.
All right.
But hey, don't forget, the Brian Kendrick was WWE champion one time.
Yeah.
They don't want to say it, but he wanted it for like 45 seconds in a scramble.
Right.
I won't forget, damn it.
Yeah, you won't forget. So let's talk about our next headline here. Freddie Prinze Jr. wants to start his own wrestling promotion. And
why not? Fuck it. It's 2022.
Well, yeah. Well, on a recent interview that was conducted by Ariel Helwani of Fightful.com, Prinze wants to really get back into the wrestling game, with WWE releasing wrestlers nearly every month in 2021. The talent pool of WWE and AEW is larger than ever. The former actor and former writer of WWE sees that as an opportunity. When Freddie was asked if all the WWE releases made him feel sad, he basically replied with the following statement: "It makes me want to start wrestling. Makes me want to start a wrestling brand is what it makes me want to do. Everybody sees that They see it and then they get sad. I see it and I get angry. When I was in Karrion Kross's DMs for real the day of his release, I was like, hey, man, I didn't go back to work for fun. I went back to work to invest in things. Imagine them, Keith Lee and Karrion Kross on the same roster and making people wait to watch them fight, keeping their stories connected but separate, even if it was just indie shows, which is what it would have to be. I'm not trying to go all in for 50 million or something, but there is such talent out there now that I think people would love to watch. They literally had Evil Macho Man and Evil Elizabeth with Karrion and Scarlett. I love them. But then they separated them, bring him up, destroy his entire look, and that stuff makes me want to take my finances from one idea and put them into a brand new one, which I've flirted with before, and maybe one day I'll do. But when I see those releases, it makes me think about it more seriously. End quote. Now, Prinze was released, of course, not too long ago from WWE's writing team. He concluded the interview by saying that launching his promotion in 2022 could depend on what his filming schedule looks like. Now, here is, do I have this here? Yeah, let's do this here.
I mean, if you think about it, Ruby, he did write for WWE in one of the most flourishing times of wrestling.
Right.
And he was the head of writing majority of those great segments that we still talk about today. I think the man could do it, and I agree with him. There's numerous times when we look at the release on WWE side, and we see a full roster. There's a full roster of wrestlers that were like, these guys could have been something. Why? And who's to say that AEW doesn't follow suit here soon with some releases or people leaving? We're already seeing what's her name, Swole, just walked away from a contract.
Right.
So it's coming time where AEW is going to have to start moving some pawns around, and people are going to have to get cut because they're not using them correctly or not using them at all. It is a good time for, let's say, an NWA or a new promotion to come slithering in and kind of take that third spot in America, like back in the day with WCW, ECW, and WWE. So I'm all for it. And the only people that are winning, in my opinion, are the fans. So there's that, and the wrestlers get another place to work.
Yeah. But here we go. The following opinions and views voiced by myself do not necessarily reflect with the False Count Everywhere banner.
La 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 la
right.
la la.
So here's what I'm going to say. The WWE had a good thing going with the ruthless aggression era. And as soon as Freddie Prinze Jr. was given a pencil and an open pad of paper, it immediately went to the Hollywood era, which meant this. You had scripted promos. You had scripted interviews. You had scripted skits. You had scripted just about everything in WWE. And because of that whole persona and that whole outlook, the organic feeling of professional wrestling was taken out from WWE, and it was replaced with a bunch of rephrasing of sports entertainment. And now we're getting that shoved down our throats today. Well, if Prinze Jr. was not hired back in 2008 or 2009, whatever the case may be, would we still approach this whole thing of what we had?
Yes.
As far as all this script, even for the commentators?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Okay, so here's why I'm saying yes. Okay, on We Talk Wrestling just this week, I posted an article. It was actually, I think, Tuesday. I posted it. An article where Vince McMahon sat down with Bob Castus and had an interview. Okay, and talking about how, and there's things that Vince says in that article or in that interview. If you watch and read that interview. He slanders pro wrestling very hard. Very hard. I think he used Freddie Prinze Jr.'s knowledge of the Hollywood scene to turn WWE into the entertainment that he wanted to see for his business.
Right, but that's what I'm saying here. If Prinze Jr. never approached that with trying to get into the company, we would have seen what we had to do here, you know?
Well, I'm just if your boss is telling you to write it more Hollywood, what are you going to do? Are you going to write pro wrestling or Hollywood? I'm going to write Hollywood.
Yeah, here comes a Hollywood writer and Vince McMahon approaches. Hey, you ever liked wrestling before? And then they go to you.
I like turtles.
So it's like
I was taking a drink, bro. You can't do that. That hurt. It was good. It was good.
Yeah. So it's like, come on, man. It's like, why?
I mean, I agree. I can agree with you, but at the same time, I don't see it as Freddie's fault, more or less. Like where we can look at Vince Russo going to WCW and watching the collapse of WCW, that's 100% Vince Russo.
Right, of course, I know. Yeah, like, Vince Russo. Very little that me and Vince Russo agree on. But let's just say this though, for the sake of argument, let's let the cards lay or fall as they lay. And if he gets that chance to run a promotion, let's see how his show goes.
Agreed.
And if it's WWE 2.0, then we know the reason. It's all because of Freddie Prinze Jr. and he needs a punch to the dick. All right. So, and I will find him and do that. Not with my fist, but he'll get it done.
Okay, I can agree with this, but I'm not punching him either. Like, but no.
Oh my gosh! So all right, so we're done with that headline.
What's the next big one?
Well, yeah. So the next big one here. Well, would
it be Beth?
We talked about the cruiserweight title. Oh, here we go. I like this. Give me a moment here, and I'm going to post this here in just a moment. There we go. And say, there we go. Our third one. Eric Bischoff found WWE production meetings to be, quote, an effing waste of time. There we go, end quote. So, and like I said, all these stories are posted on WeTalkWrestling.com. The ones I found today, these are just, to me, are just hilarious to me because it's like, I told you so. But in June of 2019, if you remember, WWE announced Eric Bischoff would be returning to the company as the executive director of SmackDown. His stint as executive director only lasted 4 months as he was replaced by Bruce Pritchard in October of 2019. Right. And he was interviewed by Renee Paquette on Oral Sessions, which is a bad name for a company, by the way. Just saying, Oral Sessions.
Hey.
He says, Bischoff said, my first visceral reaction was, this is an effing waste of a lot of time. You do not need all of these people in one large meeting. When you're going through a format, I don't give a shit. I don't need to know when a graphic is going to hit. The guys in the truck need to know that. They should have their own production meeting. To spend 2 hours going over that stuff when you really need an hour tops, 45 minutes if you're focused, to get through, to tie up all of that staff who are not doing other things that they could have actually been doing. We worked out all of that stuff during the week before we got to TV. You sit through the 2 or 3 hour production meeting, and while you're sitting there, they're starving because you haven't had lunch and you're watching Hunter and Vince piling down filet mignon and sushi while you're sucking down warm coffee in a styrofoam cup. I thought that it was a real waste of time. Here's the best part. Everyone does get to eat lunch, and then they go off and they start doing the things they're assigned to do. And at the end of that elongated luncheon for the McMahon family, then you find out we're tearing shit up and we're going to have to start all over again at 5:00. We're not talking about it. Let's take this match and move it from segment 3 to segment 6, or somebody got hurt. Let's rebook a match and figure out a way to explain it to make sense. It's not that. It's ripping paper. There were like 15 minutes before the show, and we're rewriting scenes 15 minutes before we go on. He continues to say, here's the other side of it. I'm grateful for that experience. I know it sounds like I'm slamming them, but I'm not. I'm telling the truth. You asked how it made me feel. I don't know how it made everyone else feel that may have dug it and felt it was valuable. I'm just telling you from my perspective. I was thinking, what would I do if I was taking this over? First thing I would do is change the meeting format because we're wasting tons of time but it's working for them. It's a tough formula for people to adapt to, and tough for someone like me because of the way I think and prefer to work, and it's tough on talent, but it's working. So now I kind of have an idea why Bischoff wasn't really back on his return that while, and I was kind of hoping that he was going to be that
Oh
way.
yeah,
But
when I heard he was going to be the head producer of SmackDown and stuff, and I was excited. I was excited to see like, oh, we're going to get a more edgy, or we're going to get more, and then it just didn't win anywhere. But this makes sense now. Like,
it does, and Bischoff definitely had a lot better views. And like I said, whenever WCW was going downhill when Vince Russo put his taint on the script and rubbed it all in. So it just doesn't provide a good it does provide a good show or a good atmosphere for everything going on. And 2019, wasn't that right before they were going to Fox?
yeah,
They
they're
were
getting
going
ready
to
to make the
debut on
jump fast.
Fox, and they countered it to Bischoff, and they're pulling all of that. I'm like, really? You work all that time, and then you're going to redo everything an hour before you go live on a major network across America that you can tune in on just on like with a rabbit antenna? I mean, come on.
I mean, they talk about it all the time on Raw that they rewrite the show 30 minutes, 20 minutes right before the show.
I
Like,
could not work for a company like that. Trust me. Oh my God. People would drive me
what
insane.
was it like 2020? I think it was right beginning of the pandemic. Somebody came out and said that they were writing the end of the segment during the second hour of Raw.
God dang. I cannot do that. I cannot do that at all. That here's the thing. And like I said, it's you're writing everything in. I mean, like I said, I agree with Bischoff. When it comes to like intros or like promos or like any type of other segments for like interview segments, those guys in the production truck need to know when they're going to hit the pyro, when they're going to hit music and video, when they're going to do this and when they're going to do that, and they're going to have to work around the superstar or the wrestler. That's not for everybody to know. That's for the production. That's for the production truck and for those who are running the sound and the lights and everything to do on their own. That's them. And if there's something goose, then you got somebody to blame. Why? That I don't understand.
Well, when
Not
I worked
everyone
on
needs to know every move of the freaking. I mean, of that at all. They just don't need to do that.
Oh, I
So,
agree 100%. And when I was working under my father as a young child, not young, I was 19, 20 years old, building stages. When we had production meetings, the artists weren't there. We didn't go over cues when they were going to be like in the center stage and the lights were going to do this and that. It was us, the production guys, and the artists sat in their van, or not their van, their bus. And I've worked, not many of our fans know this, but I grew up in the music industry. My dad did sound and lights for concerts my whole life. NSYNC literally put me through high school and paid our mortgage. And then I got the luxury to go around and travel with him for some things, working for Lone Star, Low Cash Cowboys, etc. But when we did production meetings, it was just us. It was us, the stage crew, what was going to move here, how the lights are going to go here, when house lights are going to go on, that kind of stuff. And the artists themselves never came out of the truck. So like, it makes no sense it confuses me as a person I'm not saying that wrestling and the music industry go hand in hand, but in some senses they do when they get to that bigger stage, because the production is so much more grand and whatnot. It doesn't make sense to me why everybody would be in a production meeting.
right, exactly. Yeah, that's why you have to break everything. And you have to section one meeting for talent. You have to one section for production. One for other type of special effects. One for there's different aspects of the meeting that you can do. That and then you just all collaborate and you go over everything. As a whole, and then be like, you all know your parts, go do it. And everything should mesh together with the responsibility of each individual, you know, role that they play. You know, that's crazy. Yeah, that would have drove me nuts too. So I give kudos to Eric Bischoff because first I give kudos to Eric Bischoff even trying to handle it because I would have been like, yeah, I probably I just would have walked and be like, dude, just buy me a plane ticket home. I just don't want to be part of this shit no
And that's
more.
Eric Bischoff's one of my favorite. Like, if I could actually sit down with Eric Bischoff and have a conversation, one, I really don't know what I'm going to talk about besides wrestling. I think he's one of the great promoters and doesn't really get the respect that he deserves sometimes when it comes to what he offered the business and what he gave to the business and that cutting edge. I always use one of his lines in my own day-to-day life, and that is controversy equals cash. So I'm a very big fan of his. And we've talked about it many times. As much as I love wrestling for the wrestling aspect, my love for wrestling was the managers, the backstage, the promoters. That's where I fell in love with the industry and how they got to the ring, kind of thing. So Eric Bischoff is somebody I've always looked up to. So this was great insight from him, in my opinion.
Yep. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, people will, what really would make people shocked? Yeah, Vince Russo, now executive producer of Raw.
Is he?
You know.
Wait. You had me for a minute. Like, you had me going, like, what? Did you just see this? What? I didn't get this on no news site. Like, that'd be so stupid. Vince Russo has ruined 2 wrestling companies. I mean, if you want to step back for a minute, at least Vince McMahon had him on a leash.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Well, oh god, what other ridiculous? Yeah. Oh, what is that? Oh yeah, what other ridiculous headline that we saw that was reported? Remember after we made the report of the fan charging, how they were going to build an electric fence?
Oh, the electrical fence. You love that? And people are like, oh, this would be a lawsuit. It's a joke, people. Relax. Calm down. It's okay. Like,
yeah, that news was pretty shocking.
How do you like the budget cuts? The budget cuts to the 3 side of the ring. That was my favorite.
Yeah. We're on the dark side of the ring.
Oh, that was so good. Like, we're gonna do budget cuts. I'm curious on to see what happens with Beth Phoenix. That's one of the other stories that came out today. That she's taken her leave from the announcer table. I'm kind of sad because I really enjoy her commentating, especially with Wade. Her and Wade's banter back and forth is freaking hilarious because it's equal sloppy to equal good.
Right.
And so it's just fun to listen to those two. I really hope it has to do with Edge being on Raw and his new potential feud with The Miz and Maurice. So I kind of hope it leads into something with those two. Because Beth has said in recent interviews that she does not feel like she's done in the ring and would like to throw down a couple more times. So I'm curious to see where she goes, if she goes to the ring or if she goes home to be a mom, and she deserves both. So
yeah, well, I mean, apparently she's made a quote saying that she was already quoted saying that after the Sunday will be my final night in NXT, and I'll remain a part of WWE. I've made a choice to step away from the weekly broadcast booth to spend more time with my family. It wasn't an easy decision, but I love my 3+ years and 135 episodes with NXT, and I'm incredibly proud of the brand. So, and he thanks Vic Joseph, Wade Barrett, Nigel McGuinness, Tom Phillips, Mauro Ranallo, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Michael Cole, and the entire NXT family in and out of the ring for an amazing opportunity. And NXT will always be a part of her, and Aunt Betty will always be a part of NXT, and leave the porch line on for me. So, who knows? I mean, it could lead to other things. You know,
It could. Now, my question to you is this: do they go third man again, or do they stay the two man? Because I think they could do well at the two man with Wade and I can't remember his name now.
Vic Joseph.
Yeah, Vic Joseph. I really like those dynamics with those two. I would love to see Nigel on a weekly TV show doing commentary, but at the same time, is he needed?
Yeah, I know.
I think my personal opinion on Nigel, I think he needs to be a mouthpiece for a faction.
Yeah,
I really do.
Getting back in the mix of the script or in the storylines, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my favorite dudes. Nigel McGuinness was freaking amazing in ROH, and him as Desmond Wolfe in TNA. Him and Kurt Angle had one of the best matches of all. Like, oh my god, that match was amazing. And I'd love to see what he could do as a manager. Think about him being like a manager for like a new foreign solution.
Oh, foreign solution, man! Don't say that too. Don't say that too loud, on Mr. O'Shea.
I mean, I'm not talking about that, but yeah, I mean that too, I guess.
Silence!
But you know what I'm saying? Like, any of those European factions that would come out, like, there's so many great European wrestlers right now. It'd just be really cool to see him be there in the mix and kind of get a shine that he didn't get to have because of medical reasons. I think Nigel got raw into the stick in life when it comes to that thing, when it comes to wrestling and his passion. And it pours over in documents if you've watched him or in interviews and stuff. He lives, breathes wrestling just like you and I as fans and as you as a wrestler and fan yourself. So it kind of just hurts me as a fan to see a guy that put his heart and soul into something and didn't really get his fair shake.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, kind of interested to see on as far as what the team does. I think they may just go back to a two-man. There's no really...
I hope so, because I'm not a three-man fan.
No.
Like, I really am not a three-man fan. I am a two-man booth fan.
Yeah. So so between Raw and SmackDown, between both brands, your favorite color commentator?
Pat McAfee. All day.
Oh,
all
man.
day. All day, Pat.
Oh.
There's something about his... there's something about his pure joy being there, and you can kind of hear it in his voice where everybody else feels like they're going through the motion. It really feels like Pat really enjoys being in that booth.
Yeah. Well,
and that's... Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, he's probably going to be the better picks out of anybody, the Asylum reporters that they have out there. But his competitive career, though, should have never been. I'm just saying.
Agree. I'm not going to disagree with you on that one. 100%. I think SmackDown just has the better, like, they have the better ring announcer, not the ring announcer, backstage announcer, and Kayla, right?
Yeah, Kayla. I think I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking Kayla's going to be moving into a new role for a short while, if you ask me.
What do you mean?
As far as being a sideline reporter or everything else, because I'm hearing something that they may lean her to be a personal advocate for Brock Lesnar.
I will love this. Here's why. Is her little, like, feud. And this is the great thing. This is one of the things that WWE, for the most part, continues to do right, is even non-wrestlers have pieces, right? They have that sprinkle to the top. And how she always interrupts Paul Heyman being on the microphone or being on the phone with somebody or this. I, as a fan, enjoy those segments because it reminds me of the Attitude Era stuff.
Yeah.
So for me as a fan sitting there, I'm just like, that's good. That's really good. And then it just and like this last week, I just started watching SmackDown before you came into the studio, and this last week's SmackDown, she's in the ring, and then like Paul kicks her out of the ring because of the rumors of Brock Lesnar coming back, all that blah blah blah, and that's just really good stuff, man. Like you.
Yeah,
I think she does very
agree.
good, and I never thought anyone would take. What's the chick that used to do the announcing and do the Lillian Garcia?
Yes, Lillian. Yeah.
I never thought anyone could really replace her. I'm not saying this lady's replacing her, but she's doing a really good job to fill those boots that Lillian left behind, and I'm very happy to see that sprinkle being left on top. I think they have really good backstage announcers right now, actually. Like, even that one dude, he's really good.
Yeah.
The little British dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What, Walter Patrick, or I don't know. What is his name?
I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's really fun, and I enjoy him a lot, too.
Better than Pat McAfee? No, I'm just joking.
No. I mean, there's Pat McAfee jamming out to frickin' Shinsuke Nakamura's entrance music and sitting on Michael Cole. Like, I'm sorry, that stuff is gold. And when you have Michael Cole, and you're talking about commentators real quick, and people shit on Michael Cole and shit on him, and there's no reason for anyone to dog Michael Cole. Michael Cole has done some of the most embarrassing BS that Vince McMahon is putting through on TV. He had Heidenreich slam him against the wall and read a poem in his ear. You know how fucking weird that is? Not Pat McAfee. Michael Cole deserves some more respect by the internet wrestling community and all that stuff. And Pat McAfee, Michael Cole went on record saying that Pat McAfee rejuvenated his career and made him want to stay as a commentator longer, and is having more fun than he's had with anybody else. And yes, him and Taz were probably one of the best commentators at one time on TV. But I'm happy to see Michael Cole get a refire under his belt because of one man. Like, you can't. That's awesome.
Well, we actually have footage whenever Michael Cole got the news that Pat McAfee was going to be his his partner in color commentary. He didn't really take it too well at first.
The best part is, I guess, did you ever see the article where Pat McAfee talks about Michael Cole being mad that he wore like jeans instead of a suit coat or something? I can't remember what it was, but he wore the wrong clothes to do WrestleMania, and Vince like supposedly loved it. Michael Cole was freaking out that Vince was going to hate it. I will try to find it and send it to you because it is really funny. But they at one time supposedly didn't like each other.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you and your damn crickets.
Well, no, that was between them. It's like they won't
talk.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
They won't talk. Shoot. But hey, what about some good personal news from you this week? Apparently, you're going to be making a big pay-per-view appearance.
Yes. I'm still blown away from it. Like, I don't even really. I'm still processing it. So the other night, I'm making dinner for my family like I normally do because my wife works until 6 p.m. So I'm home and I make dinner for the wife, make sure everything's ready to go. The kids got homework and all that stuff. So I'm making dinner, and I get a random text from somebody, Dustin, one of my We Talk Wrestling members. Hey, and we want it now. We were not making meatloaf. But Dustin hits me up and goes, "Hey, what are you doing January 29th?" And now, once again, I'm cooking dinner, so I'm not in the mindset what January 29th is.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know, dude. It's a year away. I don't fucking know.
A year away?
Well, I mean, it's next year. Like, and he's like, well,
2 months?
He's like, well, do you want to go to Royal Rumble with me? And I'm like, what? He's like, I got a ticket. You want to go to Royal Rumble? He's like, I want to give back to the man that gave us a room and a space to talk wrestling and have a good time and let everything go. And you've helped me out a lot. And I'm like, I've done nothing for nobody. I don't see it that way. I don't. I'm very humbled for this man for doing that for me and everything. But him and I are going to Royal Rumble January 29th, and it seems like we're going to have a big old party, actually. Like, there's going to be a huge WTW family get-together, hopefully. Yes, and Jay and Silent Bob, yeah, what's up? But, so a bunch of us are going down there. I'm going to meet some other guys that I've went to other shows with. Up here when a 3-letter show, RCW, did shows up here in Quincy. We met up and did a group with We Talk Wrestling photo, a family photo kind of thing. So I'm pretty stoked. I wasn't planning on going. I wasn't planning on anything. But I guess I'm going to spend the weekend down in St. Louis with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that too. And apparently I've gotten, I was actually given a message by the person giving me your accommodation saying that there won't be enough biscuits and gravy for you. So,
okay, so that probably is Alan right there that's talking crap. That's the Facebook user through We Talk Wrestling, because they said earlier biscuits and gravy. I was like, what the hell does that mean? But I want some biscuits and gravy. I love some biscuits and gravy. I didn't get fluffy for no reason, buddy.
Right. Ooh, shoot.
I'm pretty stoked. Like, I can't believe somebody would just be so willing to. Like I said, I made We Talk Wrestling for me and my 10 friends to shit talk each other about wrestling. That's literally what the whole page was made for. It was never supposed to be some. I think we're getting ready to push 2,000 followers now. We're getting close to there. It never was meant to be that. It was never meant for me to be a platform to push myself to be doing this with you, or be working indie shows or local wrestling scene shows, doing it never was supposed to be that. It was just me wanting to share my love of wrestling with my buddies, and then it turned into me wanting to share my love of wrestling with just other people, and it's turned into a great little ride. And I'm very grateful for everyone that's made it something, and I hold We Talk Wrestling very close to my heart. And to think 2 years ago I thought about deleting the page.
Yeah.
Glad I didn't do that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, shoot, you got more likes than we do, so it's like, hey.
I mean, I think we're going into like our 10th year now, our 10th or 11th year. I probably should do something special. But we try to do a giveaway for a Royal Rumble, where everybody picked a number, and if you're number 1, then you got a T-shirt, and I was going to give away a membership to a year membership to WWE Network, and the person that won never sent me their address.
Right.
So I had all that still.
Wow. Well, hey, I guess less for you to put out.
Yeah.
Hey. But I
Speaking of giveaways, nice segue there.
Yeah.
Really nice segue. Oh wait, this way. I gotta remember the camera. Wait.
Yeah, the way of the camera. I know. So I don't know. I've actually got to check on us here real quick on the count, on the Falls Count Everywhere page.
I'll do it. If we're up to 500 already today, that'd be awesome.
If we're up to 500 already, I'm about ready to crap my pants, because last week we were still in the 300s. So
I've been pushing the page left and right, man. I want to see us.
Yeah, we're still. Boy, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a challenge. It's 354 right now, as we. We're
almost. Mike Lilly's like, just give me that book, blah blah blah. Get your friends to join our page there, Mike Lilly. Get your friends to join in. Get all your wrestling family friends. Get everybody.
Yeah, someone who calls me Drip Ruby is not going to get nothing given to them for free. I'll tell you that right now. Let's establish this. This is not going to happen. You keep calling me Drip Ruby.
I love it.
That's crazy, man. I'm checking on the channel right now. Let's see. I thought we were like at. Oh, we're up to 20 subscribers.
Oh, on YouTube?
Yeah.
We're moving. We're moving big.
Remember, anybody that's watching on We Talk Wrestling or on the Falls Count Everywhere page, if you have a YouTube account, and you can go to any channel and subscribe. Remember, all you have to do is go to that page of search for Falls Count Everywhere and just subscribe, and you'll get updates on our videos that we post, or if there's
and you can
anything
get a chance to win this amazing book, dude.
Right,
Ruby, you've upped this book and talked about it and talked about it and talked about it and talked about it. I'm gonna take this. This book is so good, guy. I'm gonna need to start bringing my book back here and have my book sitting here, because this book, my son and I will sit down almost every night, and he has to read for school, right? So he's been reading this book for school because he wanted to read it so much and learn about it. I've been enjoying it with my son. This is a family experience with this book, guys. It is the most well-made tabletop collector's item that you could have in a book form. If you do not have this book, you are missing out, and you should be ashamed when you look at yourself in the mirror.
So did I hear you right? Your son is actually doing a book report on this book.
Not doing a book report. He's reading it just because he gets so many hours a week in for school. So he reads this book specifically. Now, if he decides to do a report on it, man, I've raised a good kid. I'm just saying.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. You done something right if you got somebody that's doing a book report on that. So, right. But there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, guys, keep those YouTube subscribers coming. We've only got a week, and we've got a lot of work to do. So let's make that happen on that. Oh my God, I'm so gonna shoot somebody. And it's RUGH, you not spelling fool. Not RUFF. Oh my Lord. What am I gonna do with you people?
I like turtles.
Come on. It's not RUF. I'm not a dog. I don't go rough. I don't speak dog. Someone's announcing my name. Please. Oh, a lot of you people are out there. Who the hell cares? I care, damn it. It's my name. Which, by the way, I've actually got my new shirts out this week too. New shirts are out this week, and it's the established shirt, and I don't have a picture of it, but I may bring it next week.
What? You can't promote a shirt and then not have a picture of it.
Damn autocorrect. No, it's called Damn Your Phonics. That's what it's called. No, I'm just joking. Damn Your Phonics. Oh. Yeah, new shirt in the house. Oh my gosh. Yeah, my computer's messing up, so screw it. Okay. No, but I'll bring pictures next week, but it's actually a lime shirt with black printing. So
nice.
If you really want to get on board with the Lifetime Express, this is the shirt to do it. But it's a Rough Cut Rick Ruby establishment shirt. So, yeah. We've got some people waiting for it, and it's waiting for them, and can't wait. And you can get it December 11th.
There you go.
Unless you want to, if you can't wait and if there's no way to get to it, then we'll work out some shipping details, or maybe just do a flat fee, and then we'll just say, okay, I'll just get it shipped to you. How's that? We'll work on it. But next week, just tune in. Tune into the show. We'll have something here for you. We may, like I said, we're going to try to see what we do to get maybe get a. We haven't had a focused member of the wrestling community to kind of do their kind of share their career experiences with, because I kind of hate doing that. Then I kind of hate not, because we could not just let this pass by with all of this great action with SICW going through, and this has been one for the ages for this year.
Well, I think it's nice that we have a variation of both. We have where we focus on a wrestler maybe here and there, and we do this kind of stuff where you and I are just bantering back and forth. And if I say if we want to bring guests on, we can bring guests on too. Like, I enjoyed having GQ last week. Unfortunately, some of our fans didn't. Like, they were like, "Oh, we just want Rough Cut and Zmiz," but
Yeah.
it's whatever.
Yeah, we were told that this week was 100 times better because he wasn't on. So,
True statement.
I did throw out the invitation though because he actually was in attendance last night. So,
Yeah,
yes.
he was there with PYT.
Yeah.
who he feuds with.
No, well, you know, he's always got PYT in his back pocket trying to use.
Oh,
it
he
for
does.
something. Yeah. Oh my lord, yeah. There's only so far a dollar will get you, but it won't with GQ. So. Oh my god. I think I'm going to end on that note. I'm going to hang out in the green room for just a little bit, and then yeah. And then we'll wait for next week, but stay tuned to the page with Falls Count Everywhere. We'll update also with We Talk Wrestling. But that's it for us this week. So for the Gem City Mouth Zmiz, I am Rough Cut Rick Ruby. Thank you very much for everybody tuning in tonight. And we will see you this next week. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks again for tuning in to tonight's episode of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast. Don't forget our friends at the following: Outside the Ring STL, the Searcher and Hide podcast, and We Talk Wrestling. The Falls Count Everywhere podcast is an LTX Enterprises production.